So, the first thing you'll notice about this movie is that it's made by Makoto Shinkai. And you know what that means.
It's so fucking pretty!
I never really got why people compared Shinkai to Miyazaki until I saw this film. Prior to watching this, my whole experience with his work was Sad Boy Cook Shit, Sad Boy Foot Shit, and Freaky Friday, none of which seemed even close to anything Miyazaki's ever done, yet within the first 10 minutes of this film I understood that this was a Miyazaki clone. I'm not going to say too much on this point as Digibro, it's Digine now, isn't it? Yeah. He already did that in her, or was it his, because he was a guy when he did it, but now he's a girl, fuck, it doesn't matter. Look, the point being, it just feels wrong not to address it at all. That being said, this film is surprisingly morbid for a Ghibli clone, especially considering how the early tone, while still a bit dark, didn't seem too bad. The girl met a jumpy boy and they had a gay old time together. Then about half an hour later, these spoopy boys are coming to fuck her up. Like, seriously, what the fuck happened? Well, this old guy in glass' wife died and he's still not over it, so he's taking it out on this innocent child. Pretty much immediately you can tell what the message of the film is going to be, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. This is a Ghibli clone after all, and I don't think thematic subtlety has ever really been a strong point when it comes to Ghibli films. And despite Digine's insistence that there is nothing more to the themes in Shinkai's film, I would beg to differ. Birth is a far more subtle element of the children who chase lost voices than death is within the narrative, yet this juxtaposition does wonders for the overall thematic pacing. It's especially notable towards the end where Quetzalcoatl swallows the two kids and lovingly strokes its belly like a pregnant mother before bringing them down the cliff that Gendo almost died trying to climb down himself. If Gendo wasn't so eager to bring the dead back to life, he would have had a much easier trip down the mountain, and considering how he seemed to have just barely entered this portal thingy, it's not like he saved much time in the process. Choosing life over death is clearly the message that Shinkai was trying to present to his viewers, and despite how bluntly he portrays this message, I find the overall result to be a relatively charming film. Despite all this, it's not like I don't understand why you might not like it. The initial portion of the film setting up Agartha seems unnecessarily slow, and while I find that once they reach the fantastical land the film immediately livens up, you shouldn't have to wait half an hour for your film to start. Furthermore, the relationship between Asuna and Shun never really felt that engaging, so the idea that I should care about her entering Agartha because of this always felt kind of forced. Besides, Shun is a stupid character design. Could somebody just give him a haircut? Alright then. 6 out of 10. This video is the second in a series of daily uploads where I review some movies I missed over the last decade in the hopes of making the ultimate anime of the decade list. This video was actually made because Litar recommended The Children Who Chase Lost Voices to me back in my original cry for help. So if you have any suggestions for any anime, film or TV released from 2011 to 2020, please tell me in the comments. I want to find out about it now as opposed to after I make the big ass video. Also, I'm going to say some cringy sellout shit. And tomorrow's film is A Letter to Momo if you want to watch it in advance. See you then.